Summary of Midnight's Children by Salman Rushdie. The novel Midnight's Children, written by Salman Rushdie, starts out with the narrator, Saleem telling the tale of his life in a hurried manner. Since Saleem was born at the exact moment India got rid of British rule, he is handcuffed to history, and his fate is tied to that of his country. Saleem's whole body is cracking and falling apart because of too much history. He is slowly dying and turning into about 630 million particles of anonymous, necessarily unaware dust. Saleem has to work quickly if he wants to tell his story before he dies. He starts with his Kashmiri grandpa, Aziz. Adam just got back from medical school in Germany, and he doesn't like the usual Indian life he used to live. When Adam was kneeling to pray one morning, he hit his nose on the ground. 3 small drops of blood came out of his nose. From that moment on, he promises never again to bow to any man or God. Soon, Tai, the old boatman, tells Adam that Naseem Ghani, the daughter of a farmer in the area, is sick. When he gets to the Ghani's house, Adam finds Naseem hiding behind a big sheet with a hole in the middle. He is forced to look at her through the hole. Adam and Naseem fall in love after being sick for a long time. They finally get married and get ready to move to Agra for Adam's new job at a university. In Agra, Adam and Naseem see Mahatma Gandhi's hartal and the British military's violence. After a killing, Adam makes friends with the Hummingbird, a pro-Indian Muslim leader who makes everyone in Agra feel hopeful. Adam also meets Nadir Khan, who is the Hummingbird's personal servant. When the Hummingbird is killed by killers, Nadir hides out under Adam's floorboards, which upsets his wife Naseem, who is known as Reverend Mother in her marriage. Nadir falls in love with Adam's daughter, Mumtaz, while he is living under the floor. The two get married and spend 3 happy years together under the floor. In the end, it turns out that Nadir can't have children, so he has to break up with Mumtaz, which breaks her heart. Mumtaz soon gets remarried to Ahmed Sinai, who changes her name to Amina. When she gets pregnant, she and Ahmed move to Bombay. Ahmed and Amina buy a house from William Methwold, a British colonist who is getting ready to move back to London after India gets its freedom. They move in quickly, keeping the Englishman's things and habits. Amina goes into labor on the eve of India's freedom, at the same time as Vanita, who is also pregnant and the wife of a poor accordionist who plays for the people on Methwold's estate. Both women have their babies at midnight, but Vanita dies soon after, leaving Shiva with his mother. In her own private act of revolution, a nurse named Mary Pereira switches the name tags of the 2 children of midnight when she is alone with them. This makes it look like the children are rich instead of poor. In the days that follow, Mary's guilt is so bad that she offers to care for Amina Sinai's baby Saleem as an ayah, and Amina Sinai gladly agrees. Mary goes back to Methwold's estate with the Sinais. There, she keeps her secret to herself for a few years until she can't take it anymore and blurts it out. Saleem is not a normal child. This is clear as he grows up. He grows too fast and doesn't blink very often. After an accident in his mother's washing box, he starts to hear voices because of his big, stuffy nose. Saleem hears the sounds of the other children who were born at midnight on the day of freedom. These children are the metaphorical mirror of a nation, and they all have different magical powers. Saleem tries to get the kids to work together by making what he thinks of as a place for them, but their biases keep them from coming together. Shiva is the one who finally manages to split the children up, leaving Saleem powerless. Saleem keeps getting bigger, and he and his family move to Pakistan. As civil unrest builds up before the Indo-Pakistani War, his family is killed by bombs from an airstrike and he can't do anything about it. Saleem is hit in the head by a flying spittoon during the chaos of the bombing. This makes him forget his name and who he is. Saleem is soon drafted into the Pakistani army, where he sees horrible things. He finally runs away into the woods to get away from more violence. When he comes out of the bush, the war is almost over and India has won. Saleem still doesn't know who he is. During a parade to celebrate, he meets Parvati the witch, who is also a child of midnight. Parvati the witch recognizes Saleem right away. The two fall in love, but Saleem can't have children with her. Parvati casts a spell on Shiva, and Shiva soon makes her pregnant. He loses interest quickly, as he always does when a woman is pregnant, and Parvati is free to marry Saleem, who has agreed to be the father of her child. While Parvati is giving birth, social unrest in India keeps going on, so Prime Minister Indira Gandhi declares a state of emergency. Parvati finally has a son, but she is killed soon after. At the same time, Shiva kidnaps Saleem and drags him into a van, where he and the other children of midnight are taken to be sterile as part of Mrs. Gandhi's scheme. Indira Gandhi's emergency finally comes to an end, and Saleem and the other children of midnight are freed. Saleem finds his son quickly, and when he goes back to Bombay, he finds out that Mary Pereira runs a pickle plant there. As Saleem finishes telling his story, he decides to talk about his future. He starts with his wedding to Padma, who has been listening to him tell his story. Padma and Saleem are going to get married in Kashmir, but before they do, Saleem finally gives in to the cracks in his skin, and he breaks into 600 million pieces of dust.
About the author. Ahmed Salman Rushdie was born into a rich Kashmiri Muslim family in Bombay before India got its freedom from British rule. His father was a good businessman and lawyer, and his mother worked as a teacher. He went to a private school in Mumbai when he was young, and then he went to a British boarding school. In the end, Rushdie got an MA in history from King's College, University of Cambridge. In the 1970s, he started his work in London as a copywriter for many advertising firms. During this time, he also wrote and released his first 2 books, including Midnight's Children. Rushdie started writing full-time after the success of Midnight's Children, which went on to win the Booker Prize in 1981 and the Best of the Bookers in 1993 and 2008. Since then, he has written several books, articles, and short stories that have won awards, such as The Satanic Verses and East, West. In 1983, he was made a Fellow of the Royal Society of Literature, which is the best literary group in the United Kingdom. This gave him the title FRSL. After The Satanic Verses, a controversial book about Islam and a controversial Muslim custom, came out in 1988, the spiritual leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khomeini, put a reward, or fatwa, on Salman Rushdie's head for blasphemy. Rushdie had to go into hiding for years because of the fatwa. The former president of Iran said the order was over, but the order was never officially lifted, and the reward was recently raised to more than $3 million. Rushdie was given France's top award for contributions to the arts, the Commandeur de l'Ordre des Arts et des Lettres, in 1999. In June 2007, the Queen of England knighted him for his literary work. Rushdie has only lived in New York City since 2000. In 2015, New York University named him the Distinguished Writer in Residence.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.